We want to continue our conversation right now with Mesa Mayor John Giles, who joins us live in studio this afternoon. Mayor Giles, we appreciate you coming to talk to us about this. Again, a very historic day in our country. We've had a lot of those in the last month or so. It seems like when we have one tops the other. Just your initial reaction, your initial thoughts on the president dropping out today.
Well, it really is historic, isn't it? I mean, that's probably a word we're going to hear a lot over the next 100 days. My initial reaction was that, let's take things a day at a time. And today, I think it's appropriate to focus on the 50 years of service that Joe Biden has provided this country. So I thought it was appropriate. I appreciated the governor's nice comment that I saw a moment ago, and others that have chimed in. As you mentioned, I'm a registered Republican, but I have admiration for Joe Biden. A lot of good things have happened in my community as a result of some of the great legislation that he's accomplished during his presidency. So my first reaction was to go onto Twitter and just thank him for his service and to congratulate him on a lot of success.
You posted a very gracious statement on social media. What did you think of Donald Trump's statement that we just read?
I frankly have to say, as a Republican, I was disappointed. I was this last week seeing the change in tenor that he brought, kind of post-assassination attempt. I was very encouraged by that. Reaching out to all of America and saying that we had to lower the temperature. I thought that was spot on, and I think that the country responded well to that tone from Donald Trump. We saw the opposite today, so that was disappointing to me.
How much heat have you taken as a Republican who's come out and you endorsed Joe Biden in 2020? Here you are today, as he nears the end of his presidential term, issuing a gracious statement. A lot of Republicans, especially in Mesa, don't like that.
Right. We are in a hyper-partisan environment right now, and that's unfortunate. I've had the privilege of serving in a nonpartisan position as mayor, and so I've been able to focus on solving problems. And whenever I have the opportunity to sidestep, a partisan fight like this, I've tried to do that. Sometimes you just can't, though. And I thought this was one of those times where, again, my city has been the beneficiary of some good things under the Biden administration, and I think just having respect for the office of presidency, of the presidency, we all ought to take a moment and give him his due. The infrastructure that's been built in my city, I'm going every week now to a ribbon cutting in Mesa, and many of those projects are paid for with federal infrastructure dollars. And so we're grateful for his good service.
And that was really a landmark deal, the infrastructure plan that really helped, as you mentioned, not only your city, but so many other cities across America as well. What do you think Mesa would be if those federal dollars weren't available to you?
Well, and don't forget the CHIPS Act. I mean, statewide, look at the TSMC investment, the Intel investment, literally the thousands and thousands of jobs that are going to have a generational impact in Arizona. That has Joe Biden's fingerprints are all over that. So I think regardless of your political affiliation, I think it's appropriate to look at the good that has been accomplished over the last 3.5 years and to give Joe Biden his due.
I'm struck by the fact that if Donald Trump could check off all the accomplishments you just mentioned, he would have been out there every day, if not every week, just talking about them constantly. Was that perhaps a failure of the Biden administration for the president himself? Because we certainly saw senators, congresspeople talking about it. Was that a failure of President Biden not to be out there and constantly telling folks, here's what I'm going to do, here's what I did, and here's what I'm going to do again? Just really hammering it home.
His presidency certainly has not been perfect, and one of the critiques I think that you could hang on him is he has not done a great job of explaining his record. And if you listen to certain cable news networks right now, you would think we're in the middle of a depression. You'd think we have record high crime. I mean, you would think it's absolutely the worst of times. When you actually check the facts, the opposite is true. And so that it is unfortunate that Joe Biden is leaving with at least a partisan perception that he was less than successful as president.
Do you think, what do you take away from what's going to unfold in the next 90 days or so?
Yeah.
As you mentioned, these are unprecedented times. We've never seen something like this really unfold so close to Election Day. How do you think this will play out?
This is going to be fascinating. I mean, this is going to be a day people are going to be running home from their jobs, to turn on the news, to follow. It's like maybe an Iranian hostage situation. Or I mean, I think it's just going to be every day you're going to be checking your news feeds to see what bomb dropped today, right? And so it's going to be fascinating to see how the Democratic Party is going to choose its nominee. I think it's clear that Kamala Harris has a huge advantage right now with an existing campaign. She's going to wake up tomorrow and do what she's been doing for the last several months, right? And someone wanting to challenge her is going to be starting way back. So, but still, that's going to be fascinating to see how that unfolds. It's going to be fascinating to see how the Republican Party responds to that. To what Donald Trump doesn't like having attention shifted away from him. So it might, it might tempt some of the sides of his nature that likes to respond with outrageous comments and more tweets like the one we just saw. So it's going to be, I think we all need to just pop a lot of popcorn, come home and enjoy what's going to be a very entertaining campaign season.
I was going to say, if I'm a voter, if I'm undecided, if I'm still, on the fence about what could happen in November, this really is going to be the best reality show out there.
Speaking for some of those voters who I've heard from, they're not crazy about
either.
About all this. They prefer maybe a more sedate campaign. Let's see. So you're in office till the end of December.
Correct.
Your endorsement has been very valuable. It's been sought out by Democrats. Senator Mark Kelly endorsed him. Democrat Governor Katie Hobbs. Do you plan to endorse in this presidential race before you leave office?
I don't look for opportunities to do that necessarily because the role of mayor is a nonpartisan position, so I don't go out looking to irritate people if I don't have to. But there are some times that I feel like silence is acquiescence, and when it comes to, there are some real moral bars that I can't not respond to, and then that's what's provoked me to do it in the past. So I would suspect that I'll do that again in this presidential campaign.
You will endorse again?
I suspect I will, yes.
Give us a hint.
Well, in the past, again, I unapologetically will say that I'm a Republican. So given the opportunity to endorse a good Republican candidate, I will do that. But you have to get over a certain minimum bar. And one of those things is respect for the Constitution, respect for the rule of law. And Donald Trump hasn't been able to get over that bar with me previously. So I don't see that changing.
All right. I have to ask you one more thing. We're talking about what you describe as the benefits to Mesa of some of the legislation under President Biden. It is striking that you have Republican members of Congress representing your district. They benefit from this too. Mm-hmm. Do any of them tout it? How do you deal with that?
Those elected officials, I really can't comment. They've made their beds, and it's been successful for them, right? They're getting reelected, and they enjoyed some national prominence. So I won't second guess the choices that they've made. To me, I struggle with again getting over some of those character bars that prevent me from, on policy. The president, there's a lot of things about Joe Biden that I disagree with.
Immigration?
Well, I think that's one of the real issues that Kamala Harris is going to have to explain, particularly to people in Arizona. The crisis at the border is a real thing for those of us here in Arizona who see it and can feel it. But at the same time, it's hard not to maybe say that the Republican Party deserves a lot of the blame for that. Seeing President Trump's, scuttling the immigration reform bill that Senator Sinema and so many others worked so hard on. That was a once in a generation opportunity to have some real meaningful immigration reform, and I blame President Trump for that not happening. So there's two sides to these stories. But Kamala Harris is obviously going to have to sell her immigration policy to the people of Arizona.
Looking forward to retirement in a few months.
Yes, change is good. So I'll find something hopefully interesting to do.
Well, thank you for all you've done, sir.
Thank you.
Mayor Giles, thank you for being part of the conversation. We greatly appreciate it. All right.